Hi guys, welcome to toughreps.com. My name is James Colwell and today I'm joined with a good friend of mine, trainer to some incredibly significant athletes, Simon Diesel Yates. How you doing, man?
How you doing, man? Good to be here, thank you.
Diesel has joined us today to discuss a question we get asked about all the time, absolutely all the time. And that is the subject of knee wraps. So at Tough Wraps, we've got two different styles of knee wraps. The one that sells most and probably best for most people that are into their heavy squatting and heavy leg pressing and stuff like that is our softer training style wrap compared to our incredibly stiff competition style wrap. You know, Diesel, why would you use a knee wrap, or why would you think about using a knee wrap over, say, a knee sleeve?
Okay, so knee sleeves are more for compression and keeping the joint warm under training, whereas your knee wrap will give you more of a rebound effect when you're training. So it's like an elasticated rebound on the knee itself. So when you strap that knee tight, when you're coming down, it will give like a stretch reflex into the band. So it's protecting the knee like your knee sleeve would, but you're also getting a bit of a rebound off the wrap itself.
So essentially, when we're going for something like, if we're getting really outside of our comfort zone into what would be probably a personal best, a PR, and you really need that extra bit of support and you're going for your max.
Exactly, yeah.
The two different wraps we've got in our hands, both of them are 2.5 meters. We do actually do a 2 meter version in the soft training wrap, and we also do a 3 meter version in the stiffer wrap. If you're a much bigger guy, if you're going for some really, really significant numbers, the 3 meter wrap is available and is an option you should really consider. Why would you go for a competition wrap over the softer training wrap? What sort of circumstance?
So there's two situations you would use it. So if you were training, say for instance in powerlifting or strongman, the softer wrap would be your entry level to the stiffer wrap. Okay. So you wouldn't go from training with nothing to going straight into a competition wrap, purely because it does change your movement pattern.
It's quite hardcore.
It's very hardcore, and it does change the way that you move. So you start off with a softer wrap, you slowly build the tension up with the softer wrap, then you move on to a competition wrap.
So we would see guys, I mean, I know that you train with Adam Bishop, Britain's strongest man, world's strongest man competitor.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be into this straight away, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah, because he's had the years of training with the softer wrap.
Yeah.
So he would, as you see with the world's strongest men, it would mainly be an all-out max lift for reps, or it'll be a single, so they would go straight into a competition.
Whereas someone like myself, who's barely 100 kilos at the moment, and I want to do some heavier volume, I would come out of my sleeves. I would go for the softer training wrap.
You go for the training wrap. You'd only really use the stiffer wrap, like you said, for competition lifts, or if you were building up to a competition, you needed to get used to using a competition wrap, then you would use that one as well, just purely because you need to get used to the difference in how they feel, because they do feel completely different. One thing to mention about the 2.5 compared to the 3 is that the 3 is not allowed in a lot of federations. Just
to note that as well, guys, then 2.5 meters maximum length in most federations at the moment, USPA, GPC, stuff like that. So bear that in mind if you are choosing a competition wrap today. And just before we delve into how you would wrap your knee, which is probably what a lot of people are thinking about right now, is just to show you kind of the different elasticities in front of the camera. Now this is the training wrap. You see it's really quite flexible prior to me knocking Diesel in the face. Whereas if I get the competition wrap, it's much, much stiffer. Now I think that's something we'll go into in a little more detail, well, quite a lot more detail in a minute. There really is an art to wrapping these. You can wrap them just for a little bit of assistance when you're getting on the leg press and want that a little bit of extra support, or you can wrap them to quite a high specification, and it gets quite, I don't want to say complicated, but there is an art to it, and that is what we're going to get into in just a minute.
So firstly, we're going to wrap it as if we were just using it as a soft training wrap.
Okay.
So I'm not going to put any tension through the strap itself yet. Literally, I'm just going to show you how to lay it on the leg for like a rep, like a leg press or something.
Okay.
We're just using it as a training wrap and not as a comp wrap.
So this is the softer material. We're going to wrap it in training how you would if you were in the gym on your own to go heavy volume on a leg press or something like that.
Perfect. So we get up, always try and keep the leg straight and keep the toe pointing up to the sky. That'll keep a nice straight line through the knee. Lay the first one here on the outside of the knee. Take it round, then lay it on top. Take it round, lay it on top. So you get 2 at the top, and then we're going to create like a crisscross pattern. So we're pulling the quad muscles in towards the knee to give those quad and knee joint support. So we're creating a crisscross over the knee here. And all you're going to do at the bottom, take a finger through here, take it underneath, and then you pull it up tight. And that's just a soft wrap for training purposes.
But I can really feel how my knee is now located centrally between the crisscross patterns of the knee
exactly,
wrap.
yeah, we're pulling everything into that knee and we're giving that knee support. And the reason we keep that leg straight is so it's its tightest point when it's straight, because obviously as you bend your knee, you're creating tension through the strap.
Now, one thing we should probably talk about, just as you've tied this off, you actually folded this through and pulled the cord through. Some knee wraps actually have Velcro attachments on them. As a brand, Tough Wraps, we choose not to.
No.
But as a coach, just describe a little bit why you would never use a wrap with Velcro.
So purely, I would never trust Velcro to hold anything on tight. Okay, if I'm in the bottom of a squat or on a leg press and that Velcro suddenly gives way, that wrap is going to come undone. You're going to have an imbalance between that knee, which means you're going to load one knee more than the other. It's only going to lead to injury. This way, this pulled through like that will not come undone. And also, when you want to take them off, you can just pull it back the way it came.
And it unravels.
And it unravels, you just take it back off. Okay, so this time we're going to use the stiffer wrap. Now, when you're obviously wrapping with the stiffer competition wrap, we're trying to take as much stretch out of the band as we can when we're going around the kneecap to provide the kneecap and the knee joint as much support as we can possibly give it. So we start similar. We start on the side of the leg, we go round, but this time we're going to try and take all of the stretch out of the strap or wrap, whatever you want to call it, and we lay it across the top. We go under again and we do the same. We pull as much of it out as we can, and then when we come across, we're going to lay across the knee. We're not going to pull it across the knee because this will shift the kneecap. So take your tension up here, then lay across.
It's already much stiffer.
Yep, and then again, pull it up and lay it across. Do the same again, as much of it out of the strap as you can, come across, do the same again, and then when you reach the bottom, we go round once, and then we go back to the top. So we're laying another layer. As you can see, we're pulling really tight, which is why I'm getting out of breath, and you lay it across there. We go round the top, keep my finger in the strap here, come round, same as we did before. I'm going to pass it through, and there we lock it off.
I mean, that already feels significantly more sturdy than the training wrap, to the point where it's incredibly uncomfortable, actually.
Yeah. This is why, I mean, with the competition wrap, you're only looking at really one rep or a double, because you cannot keep that on for very long before your foot goes numb. As you can see, loads of pulling in there, that's why I get out of breath. You pull that nice and tight, but you notice here, it's all locked in, and there's no giving out.
And actually, when I lift my leg, it barely bends now, and that isn't me kind of doing anything. It is just absolutely rigid.
Yeah, and then you've got your strap at the top here, so when you finish your set, it's easy for you to just pull that out. You don't want to be messing around with that. You want to get it off as quickly as possible. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you can actually use the soft wrap as an intermediate wrap between the soft training and the super stiff competition wrap. What we do is what we call pre-stretching. Now, this is a lot easier if you've got a wrap roller. But if you haven't got a wrap roller, I'll show you a simple way of doing it. All you do is you release your strap like this. Okay, you take the end you want to start rolling, and on the other end, you stand on the end of your wrap, you pull it up your body, and you start rolling it in. Now, this is a really good exercise if you want to work the forearms as well. Okay, so when you get down to about mid-thigh here, you release it at the bottom, take another step, pull it up, and we do the same again. Then all you're going to do, just keep repeating that process. Release a bit of the strap, pull it up your body, roll it down. And you will notice, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but how much bigger these gaps now in the stretch are compared to there. So we've pre-stretched that. Now, what that means is that when I now put that on my knee, I've already taken some of the stretch out of the strap. So when I pull it again, I'm doubly stretching it. You're going to get double the tension out of the strap. You can also do this with the competition wraps, which a lot of the top level powerlifters do, but that will make it super stiff. So I would suggest start with that, work your way up to the competition wrap.
Okay, guys, so you've seen now wrapping both styles of knee wraps on my knee quite uncomfortably. Just so you know, this is absolutely how the process should be, and it isn't a walk in the park. Wrapping knees does have some technical aspects to it, and we have shown you now how a professional strength coach would wrap your knees in the two circumstances. So we've got the training wrap when you're moving away from sleeves in the gym and you're kind of venturing into the much heavier movements and some really high volume. And we've got the competition wrap, which we really do kind of suggest only for those people who have a history already of wrapping knees and are going for their incredibly big lifts, their 1 rep maxes, their PRs and competition environments, that kind of thing. Firstly, thanks ever so much to Diesel for taking the time.
No problem at all.
Pleasure to have you as always, mate. If anyone has any comments, if anyone has any questions, they'd like any further advice, please just drop a comment in the boxes below under the video. Reach out to either of our sales channels or check out Simon Diesel Yates on Instagram if you need any assistance with your coaching. It's been great again to speak to you, mate.
And you, good to see you.
Thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you all again soon.